Okay, I'm back, and I'll open up the meeting at 6:33 p.m.
Perfect. I'm going to do roll call.
Thanks, Robert.
Colby Jensen,
Here.
Catherine Hatton,
Here.
Arthur Whipchlack,
Here.
and Robin Allen. And I'm here. All right. All right.
Oh, I heard it here, barely.
June 14th, and this is the executive board meeting. And Colby, go ahead and start the meeting.
Thank you, Robin. I'll go to open public forum. 3 minutes per stakeholder. Please raise your hand at this time. I see Jonathan.
Hi, everyone.
Jonathan.
You. I just wanted to bring to your attention that I think this might get forgotten.
Okay.
Last night in the Plum meeting, land and use, one of the committee board members was asking whatever, did the general meeting of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council approve the land and use redevelopment? I forget if they call it preferences or standards, that list that Brandon had done. I didn't speak.
Oh,
but
the community, yeah, it was a developer handbook. Yeah.
Conditions, something like that. So the question was, and I couldn't remember, nobody really could remember clearly, but I think you guys at the general meeting had approved it. So I think you did anyways, but it needs to be checked that that's what happened and answer back to them so they'll be sure to understand, because Brandon was concerned that it was never raised at the general meeting. Thank you.
Let me, let me bring on Ren. Can you raise your hand real quick? And show us, Ren actually has to speak here. I know this is unusual, but since we have Ren here, I don't know if you're, yeah, here we go. Let me bring on, I don't think we did. Hi, Ren.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Can you just shed a little light on Jonathan's question? I think about the developers.
Yeah, it went through. It went through, and I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but yeah, we did approve it.
That's right. Okay.
All set. Thank you.
Thanks, Ren. Okay. Any other stakeholder questions or comments? Seeing none, hearing none, we will move on to minutes and agendas. To motion A, the approve the GTLNC May 10th, 2022 executive minutes. Do I have a first?
Do we have a first?
Catherine first.
Catherine.
Thanks, Catherine. A second, please.
Robin.
Robin, very good, Robin.
Any discussion on the prior minutes?
Anything from the public? Stakeholders? No? Okay, Robin, you can run down the roll.
I'm going to call roll. Catherine.
Yes.
Arthur.
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. And Colby.
I'm a yes.
Great.
Motion passes.
Carries 4-0-0. Great. All
Thanks,
right.
Robin.
Going to approve motion B. Approve the GTLNC June 21st, 2020. It says 2021. I'm changing that to 22. Thank you. General board agenda. Do I have a first?
Catherine first.
Thank you. And I'll be the second. All right. Any discussion on the agenda?
So I had not really paid a lot of attention until I was working on minutes. But we have a couple of our neighborhood folks that need their names updated just because we've had a little bit of turnover recently. Yeah. So I would recommend just double checking the list at the top of who is.
I did update Steve Ferguson under Dream Nazarian. I've updated Jason Maruka under Catherine Barger. She's our new supervisor. Was there anybody else that didn't?
So Kathleen Quinn.
Tammy Fernandez is the Rio Vista Elementary School principal. I updated that. Quinn, yes, Kathleen Quinn, done.
Well, I don't think she's our person right now, isn't it, Erica?
Okay, let me change that right now. Erica, what's Erica's last name? G-A-T-I-C-A. G-A-T-I-C-A. Got it, done.
Yeah, and I think just double check the spelling for Tammy Fernandez.
Oh, there's an N in there, to another N, Fernandez. Thank you, Catherine. You are my
I'm here for spell check.
lifesaver. Okay, wait, let me just, there's two lists, so let me make sure. Yep, it's got to be changed on the other list. And Quinn, so let me change it to Erica. I don't know why it's listed twice. Got it. Okay, I've changed those. So Erica and Tammy Fernandez. Was there any other name that needed to be? Oh, and Colby, are we keeping the Toluca Terrace Homeowners Association rep on here? Are we putting that on hold temporarily because of a recent letter?
Is that, that person's on here, right, already or not?
It's at the
No,
bottom.
leave it there for now. Leave it there. I've do some looking into that.
Okay. Okay, great. Anything else, Catherine?
I don't think so on the names, but I do have some other questions on the agenda. Right now, it just says 2 open board member positions / vote. But if
Correct.
we're actually going to take a vote, I believe that we need to have a motion on the agenda itself.
Yes, when we go to exec committee, which is, we're going to talk about that. And I need to ask you language for that. I have 2 motions that I've placed on the general board agenda. So I'll do it right now.
Go do it now.
Motion B, because it's right after the general board minutes approval. Motion B would be to approve, and then I have in parentheses that person's name, to fill vacant board seat number 1. That is the language I have. Do you want to change that language in any way?
I don't think so. I think that works.
Okay, and then motion C is to approve that blank person's name to fill vacant board seat number 2.
Great.
And those are both listed under exec. So those both, and Colby will give his list at the meeting next week, and they will be on the call to be able to talk to the board, and I'll let him talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, so anything else on the general board agenda?
So this is related to the standing rule that we passed, but we do need to have the candidate that's being nominated, or candidates, their statement available on the GTLNC website before the meeting as part of like the meeting documents.
3 days before the Brown Act, 3 days, assuming before the meeting. Or I have to basically identify the candidates, right? And then we can take statements that they previously sent to us, or write new ones.
No. It would just be the statement that they sent in.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll know pretty soon.
So those candidates have to but candidate statements.
They already submitted candidate statements. So we just need to make sure that we're posting those candidate statements on the GTLNC website before the meeting.
Okay, so Colby and Catherine, will you make sure that those statements get placed on the website, so that, whatever the list is you've got.
Actually, it should be done.
You're what?
No, we're doing before. But we'll get to that in that part of the meeting.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think Thursday should be the deadline, right? Pretty much. I'll
Okay, so they just have to be on the website, let's just say by Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And And then this might, I don't know if this is a question for Arthur, but do we need to have a motion to pass a budget, or are we holding a special meeting? Because if the budget's due by July 1st.
Okay, I have that, Catherine, listed under new business of the general board agenda. So Colby, do you want to manage a budget before July 1st? I mean, I know we have to have it, but do you want a motion on the agenda for next week to submit a budget?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to, right, Arthur?
In order to have our funds available, we will need an approved budget.
Okay, so is that something, Arthur, that you and Colby can put together before next week's meeting?
I can do that, yes.
Okay,
Right. Needs to be on the website.
okay, so Arthur, do we, under next week's treasurer's report, need a motion to approve the new budget?
Yes.
Okay, so I need language for that,
Okay,
and I need you to send me the motion for that.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm making a note to add that to treasurer's report for next week's agenda.
Thank you. I'm done with my agenda questions.
Thank you. Those were good questions.
I do see a hand up.
I have a question. Public safety, or the Gascon policy letter. And we'll need, if we want to vote on that, we'll need to vote language in that too.
Okay, I'm sorry. I missed one of the words you said. What did you?
We need language to vote on a Gascon policy letter under public safety.
Okay, so let me write public safety. Gascon policy motion.
Letter, yeah, policy letter.
Okay, so Colby.
It would be a motion to approve a letter to submit.
Yeah,
A letter, yes, a letter for policy, not against or for anybody. It's just for policy.
that's right.
Okay, so Colby, I need language for that, and I will add that to public safety.
Okay. Any
Okay.
other questions from the board? If not, I'll go to stakeholders regarding this. All right, Jonathan.
Robin, to go backwards to the part number 3, when you were updating that, this is a section that's called City and Neighborhood News
Yes.
Announcements.
Mhm.
I would recommend that West Toluca Lake Resident Association be on that list too, because I'm seeing that it seems to fit in there. Thanks.
Jonathan, just an FYI, we've had some discussion about this in the past. And because the West Toluca Lake Association is not a, Colby, help me out here. It's not an elected board
Yeah,
position.
you're right. We had issues with it because it wasn't, I don't think it wasn't a 301C. It was a slightly different entity, a nonprofit.
Well, no, it doesn't have a board or an elected position or something. There was something she.
Yeah, I think what it was is that the person who was serving as president was not elected to that position. They were self-appointed.
Correct. So we had their association on our list, but quite frankly, we allow Tess to speak about West Toluca Lake issues on a regular basis in various areas of the agenda anyway. So even though it's not listed as a city organization, she is given through public safety and through Plum and through GAC and through many of the other committees. She does have the ability to speak on various issues, but it's just not listed.
I think it's 501c4. I think I looked it up once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it wasn't a C-through C.
And
I think that was an issue.
yeah, they have a board and all that, but I mean, mine was a suggestion. Okay, thanks.
Jonathan, do you know if they have an actual board? Do they have
Yes,
a
they do.
treasurer? Did they?
I never went to the meeting or anything, but yes, they have a list of 5 people. 5 people are on their board, and they meet regularly, and yeah, they function. That's why I suggested it.
Yeah, and do they have a treasurer?
I don't know the titles. I mean, I don't. I've only copied them in emails, so we can leave it right there. Mine wasn't a pressure thing. It was just a. They probably visit it again. Yeah, thanks.
We can talk about when Eric comes on a general board meeting next week. We can run it by here. And I remember there was an issue related to what we're talking about
Right.
tonight. But,
Okay, let's go back to
Okay,
general board. I don't see any other hands.
so we can go back
To, where is it? Let me.
as amended,
find it.
or
Yes, approve the, motion B, to approve the GTLNC June 21st, 2022 general board agenda as amended. And, oops, my computer glitched. Hang on one second. Catherine, how do you vote?
Yes, yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Colby?
yes.
And motion carries 400. And Arthur, thank you so much for sending me the language. He just sent me the language for, I think it was the treasurer's report, or
And I
language
just made Arthur a
for the
co-host
budget.
for treasurer. So Arthur,
Okay,
you have screen sharing powers.
We have a motion on the agenda, motion C, approve the May 2022 MER and expenditures for reconciliation submission to the city clerk. Do we have a first?
Robin,
A second?
Catherine.
Catherine, thank you.
Okay. Got it. Do you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So we had and our April balance was $21,700. We had rollover funds of $7,400. This is related to the carryover from the prior year. And then during the month, we had $1,900 in operating costs. 2 invoices from Apple One for $750 and $1036, totaling $1786. Then Google for $96, and then MailChimp for $28.99. And so we have our May balance of $27,000. That is what our cash balance is at the end of May. I'm also going to show what was approved and outstanding outside of May. So moving on, we had $6,000 to TYS. Those were all 4 TYS invoices. We had the $5,000 NPG to the East Valley PALS. We had the $5,000 NPG to the American Cancer Society, the $2,000 NPG to the YMCA. I think that's the Youth in Government program, and then the $2,500 NPG to Rio Vista for picnic tables. And those are approved and outstanding, will be processed and paid out in June. That gives us a balance of $6,500. We have 2 NPGs that are pending approval. One for the Garden Club for $1,000, and the other one for Toluca Lake Elementary PTA for $3,000. These are pending approval. There is a conflict of interest question that's outstanding for the Garden Club. That is, that's the open item there. For the Toluca Lake Elementary PTA, I'm hopeful this is going to go through, but we're going back and forth regarding the IRS determination letter. And so hopefully this will go through, but these 2 items need to be resolved for these to be approved. And so our projected end of year balance, if those are approved, is $2,500.
And I just want to say, Arthur, thank you for the unbelievable amount of work to get all of this done, to get all these back and forth approvals. You've done an outstanding job. So thank you so much for helping us get our money paid to the various organizations.
Yeah. Can I ask, so are we 100% paid up on TYS?
And then, so speaking back money.
Hold on. So TYS is 100% paid through June 30th, 2022.
Okay, so Colby, am I clear to interact with them to deal with the website stuff?
To me, you are. I put in 2 calls today to Tim, and he didn't pick up, which is what he was doing when he wasn't getting paid. And what Arthur just said, I believe, was that the payments have been processed. So I don't think TYS has received their check yet.
Okay.
And is that correct, Arthur? And I think it's going, the check's in the mail, but I bet TYS doesn't want to talk to us until they have the money in their bank account. Arthur, is that
All
correct?
right, well,
That's correct. I mean, these are approved and processed and issued by the city clerk. They're showing as outstanding because, you know, technically they haven't cashed it, or they haven't. Yeah.
okay. Well,
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
just give,
I was waiting for the next meeting, but I put a couple of calls in today to TOIS just to confirm, because I've seen emails that their payments have been approved by the city, but I know there can be a lag time. So we've had to make close calls with TOIS in the past. I think they're just being cautious and not really talking to us until, but I'll reach out again this week.
okay, yeah, I mean, I don't need to.
They are paid up. I mean, the money's out of our account, but I think they're just, they don't, he probably can't believe they're actually getting paid after a year. So I think they're gonna.
Yeah, I'll hold off until we get confirmation. It's not anything urgent, but would like to get it resolved as we move into election season.
Oh, it is, and we have to change things. I mean, we have to remove that, a lot of, we have to change a lot of things. Even right now, like the website looks outdated. We still have the apply button for the.
Oh yeah, Lisa and I can go through and get that removed.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Any
and then
questions or comments from, go ahead, Catherine.
So in the past, have we needed to do anything, any board action in order to ensure that the funds roll over? Because we'll have likely 2,500. We might have as much as what, 6,500 that could potentially roll over. Do we need to do anything to make sure that we don't lose that money?
You know, that is a, so every single year has been different.
Mm-hmm.
So let me, I don't have a definitive answer for you right now. I will, I'm typing an email to the city clerk as we speak to Muriel to ask that question.
Thank you.
Good question. Any other questions from the board? If not, we'll move to stakeholders. I don't see any. Okay. We'll go to Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Arthur. On the third line down, that's the website, it's $6,000 in June. Did all of that went to TYS, or was there any other vendor?
That was all TYS.
Okay, and was the check, in case there's a problem, when Catherine talks to them, was that a $6,000 check or just a portion of that they're looking for the last payment?
That was 4 $1,500 checks.
Okay. For how much?
That's correct. 4 of them, each of them totaling 1,500.
Okay. And then, thank you. And then another subject is, when you were talking about PTA, is that the thing listed as mural?
That's right.
Okay, thanks. And then the last question was, if you look down to the bottom right of your spreadsheet, everything looks understandable. Everything is a debit or an expense, except for the number 39,402, which evidently it looks to be how much money this neighborhood council owned during the year, right?
That's correct.
Is there a reconciliation of that amount? And does that include that 7,000 that Catherine and Colby mentioned last meeting?
So the 39 includes the 7,000.
Okay.
So
Is there,
yeah.
Is there a how do you say it? Reconciliation of that amount somewhere? Yeah.
So in the spreadsheet, and I guess I'll switch to this because you are referring to the spreadsheet. So let me just so everybody else knows what we're talking about. Hold on, I'm trying to maneuver this Zoom. Well, so our approved, I'll talk through it while I'm trying to figure out how to.
You might need to stop share and then do a
Oh,
new share.
got it. Okay, there you go. There you go. I'm clicking all
Remote
over
tech support.
yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so Jonathan is referring to the spreadsheet. And so we had a $32,000 budget to start the year. This includes all our expenditures that has been processed, and also the pending ones for June. The 39,402, that includes the $7,400 rollover. So that 32 is our budget. 7,402 is the rollover amount.
Oh, Arthur, we have $2 unaccounted for. I'm just kidding. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Any other questions from stakeholders for Arthur? Please raise your hand.
Let's read the motion again. Motion C to approve the May 2022 MER and expenditures for reconciliation submission to the city clerk. Catherine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Colby?
Yes.
Motion carries 400. Great.
Thank you, Arthur. Good job.
Thank you, Arthur. Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Moving along to ongoing business. Up top, we have the installation of new executive board date in July.
We decided to do this at the general board meeting, July. Wait.
Oh, the next, yeah, they're July.
Let me look at the next general board would be July 19th.
Good. And at that, as everybody knows, at that board meeting, the general board meeting, the new exec board will be elected, and anyone, well, obviously it's just exec board tonight, but anyone listening or interested in who is on our general board now who wants to put their hat in the ring for exec board, is the time to do it. Moving down to this one, 2 open board member positions / vote. I've had the pleasure of speaking to 11 interested applicants for these 2 vacant seats in our general board, and they're all, it's been a real pleasure having such strong response from our community. I've had, again, like I said before, it's been wonderful speaking all week with these people. They're all bright and talented and intelligent, and they certainly have good hearts, and they have great ideas. And it's actually difficult for me to narrow this down because we can't bring on 11 board members, potential board members applicants for a general board meeting. So I'm going to narrow it down. As president, I nominate, and then at the next general board meeting next week, 7 days from tonight, the general board will vote on electing the 2 new members to fill these vacant seats from the nominees I choose. So that'll be a very fun meeting, I think, a very interesting meeting. We'll be hearing from those candidates. Any questions or thoughts about what I've just covered so far from the public or the board? I don't want to go too fast.
The only thing we need to do is make sure that you and Catherine get their statements on the website. So
Yes.
I'm gonna make sure that that's listed here. And,
Yeah. Yes.
and then the night of the meeting, you will give us your a list of who you're going to have speak, and they will attend the meeting. And then we will vote on 2 of the however many you deem.
Yes, I thought all 11 to be free that night.
And then,
I'm assuming that I only need, Catherine, do I need to only have, I only need to have the candidates, do I need to list all 11 applicants or just the ones unnominated?
So the sort of plan is to only do the 2 that you're nominating.
Or the 4 or 3 or 4 I nominated? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So you would only be nominating 2 because, you know, we're not voting amongst the candidates. We're just voting yes or no on your nominee for each seat. So you would just nominate
okay, I didn't know, okay. I thought
one person for the seat.
Oh.
okay, wait, say that one more time.
So think of it like when the president nominates someone to the Supreme Court. The president picks a person, and then the Senate confirms that nomination or rejects that nomination. So Colby would pick a person for seat 1.
I thought it changed to.
Okay,
No.
Okay.
No, we went back to, or we didn't make a change to that. It's still the president nominates a single person for a single vacancy, or in this case, a person for each of the 2 vacancies.
Okay. Good.
So-
I'm glad we clarified that.
so instead of 4 candidates, he would pick 2, and we
Yes.
would vote. But what?
Yes or no.
Yes.
If we don't approve a candidate, then at the next meeting, he will nominate a different person.
Okay, so he will only bring 2 of those people to the next meeting
Yeah.
to speak on behalf of themselves, and then we will fill their name into those spots. So we will know ahead of time who we're voting on, and we vote yay or nay on those 2 people.
Yes, that is the plan. So you don't even need to leave it blank in the agenda. You can put the names in for each of those people. Yeah. That's the way it is been done in the past, and that's the way it's going to be done now. We just have the added element of there are candidate statements that will be published.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad we talked about that. I thought that got changed. Was there?
Oh, there's a hand up,
Okay.
Colby.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, then we'll move on to.
Wait, Colby.
I have a
Hand up.
question from John. Hi, John.
Okay. I wanted to say that Catherine is correct because I'm recalling it. The bylaws were going to change. The board voted to safeguard that power of the president to nominate any person for a vacancy. So Catherine is literally saying the correct thing. In my understanding of how our bylaws work, that it is a power safeguarded for the president. They may not be as happy if they don't like the president, but in this case, I think we're very fortunate we have a good president. So he has the power to nominate, and Catherine is correct that to put 4 or 6 more, then that's transferring the power to the board, where you have to first nominate and the board has the opportunity to approve or disapprove. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the stakeholders? Okay, we'll move on. I'm going to move on to the next item. The Gascon policy letter. We talked about this earlier in this meeting tonight. We're going to put in some vote language. And right, Robin?
Yes, so I need language from you for a motion to either support or disapprove the Gascon policy. So you're going to give me language for that motion to be placed on the, is it exec? No, it's public
Report.
safety. Mhm.
So
safety.
wouldn't we also need to have a letter drafted? Like we'd be approving a letter regarding those policies?
Yeah.
So we
I'll-
need a
I'll-
letter.
I'll attach the letter.
Okay.
No, okay. And then discussion and possible action to be submitted as a community impact statement CAS by GTLNC to send letter of support appreciation to the Los Angeles Police Department. And then we'll need, right, should we just make this a vote? Are we moving forward? Because this is kind of ineffective, I feel like it is now. Should we just do a vote? Just should I write that? Should we do a letter, right, like this, almost like the Gaston letter?
So
So I got
just to
the-
clarify, if it is a CIS, it needs to be attached to a council file. So if there is a council file regarding, say, the budget for the police department or some policy about the police department, you can attach it to that, and that can be a CIS. If there's not a council file that you are attaching it to, it's not technically a community impact statement. It would be a letter. We can write a letter of support, but it would just be a letter. It would not be a CIS.
Maybe it's easier just to do a letter of support because we're, right, rather than a CIS.
I mean,
I'll have to
it's
find-
certainly easier
have to-
than dealing
find-
with the CIS portal.
Yeah.
But
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi. From what I understand about the way things work traditionally, it's either CIS or letter of action. If you want that to just conform, make it a letter of action to the city council, encouraging their full support, or however you wish to word it, for the police, and copy. That way, all of the city council gets it and they understand the core support from this community of the police, and copy it to the police also, so that it serves to be traditional and it serves to communicate that level of support to the police themselves. Thanks.
Okay, so it's basically a CC to LAPD and a letter to CD2. Does that make sense, Catherine and Jonathan?
Or do the whole city council, letter of action to
Yeah.
city council.
Jonathan was recommending the entire city council, and I feel you should also probably include the mayor if you're doing the full city council.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a note here.
So, again, this is something you're going to pass on to me, Colby. That's going to be attached to the, is this public safety? Yes, public safety.
Yeah.
So it's a public safety item. So you're going to get me either a letter of support or what, CIS?
Letter, not a CIS, a letter of support. Letter of action.
Okay.
And Jonathan, you're happy to send me some ideas too if you have something.
Okay.
Or
Thanks.
Catherine. Email me something like that. A template.
So it's a letter of
Any
action.
comments? Yes, letter of action to the entire city council plus the mayor's office. CCing LAPD. All right, moving on, unless there's more comments. New business?
Okay.
Any new business?
Do we have any new business?
Must have something.
Well, we kind of talked
I
about
don't
that
see
we need
any.
a budget. We talked about how we're going to fill the seats, and we talked about the letter, all the actions that we have to take care of between now and next week.
Okay, real quick, it's easy question. It's a simple majority, right? For the voting of the two board new members?
I believe so, but let me double check.
I can
And
look at it.
And then Catherine, for the vacant seat, we will be given a name that Colby will get me this week so I can add it to the agenda. So there will not be a blank. It'll actually have the
Mhm.
person's name. And the board will vote yay or nay, and those two people will be the only two people that will come and speak on next week's meeting.
Right, right.
Great.
And then if any member is not, any person is not voted in, then the next meeting, we do the same thing until they're seated. So we have 2 successful candidates.
Right, so if the board chooses not to, maybe they pick 1 out of 2, and we still have a vacant seat, we will do this again at the July meeting, and you will pick from another candidate.
Yeah, and I just confirmed with the new bylaws, it's still just a majority vote.
Right, right. Okay, so Colby, I'm gonna need those 2 names.
That's right.
to speak.
That's how I understand it.
2 names,
Okay. Very good.
all right.
All right. I don't see any of the hands up. So I'm going to close the meeting unless someone has a last minute thought. All right. Well, it was a very efficient meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Our next meeting is Tuesday, July 19th. And
Well, no,
Yeah.
our next meeting
Exact.
4 meetings next week.
exact.
would be the 12th, right?
July, hold on. Do I have, wait, which one am I looking at? This is
I think that's the
exact.
general.
Do I have the date wrong? Thank you. Let me look.
The general, 20.
July 12th, she's right. So I got to change that. So it's July 12th. Thank you, Catherine. Great. So what time are you closing the meeting? 7:15.
Oh, it's 7:15 p.m.
7:15. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
all.
you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.